The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble. Welcome back. It's our weekly round table talk show that we do. You know the deal. You hear us every week. And if you don't, it's the first time. This is what we do. We talk shit. We talk comics. We review stuff in pop culture. I adjust my mic while I'm doing the intro. And I'm here with my boys. Off to my right here on the screen is Jay, the silent assassin.
Hey.
What's up, Jay? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm existing. That's something.
Yeah. So basically, you're in pain. Existence is pain.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look.
Pain
Maybe
and
for
boredom.
Yeah. Well, that's so. Yeah. I could see that, but boredom can be fixed with a little bit of chaos. And then off to his right,
with alcohol
and boredom, you could bend time and space before you know it. It's the next morning. Then off to the bottom there, you got Oz. Oz, how you doing? Speaking of booze,
thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. What flavor is that? Is that the Red Lantern, the indigo?
No, this is still red. Cherry's my favorite, so I made a lot of it.
Yeah. How many bottles did you make of that?
I've made like 3 batches, so I probably got like maybe 10, 15 bottles. And then I've had so much of this cherry stuff, I'm working on a cranberry one. See how that comes out.
Okay. That would be interesting. And off to me, I am Moses Magnum. I'll be your host today. I hit the solo button. It's not happening. I blame Larry. Larry's not here. I'm doing this so that Larry can go do stuff and pay his bills and eat and stuff. So I blame him. Anything you got wrong with this episode, you got to blame Larry.
Fuck you, Larry.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. Today we're going to be reviewing some of the Night Terror books. We're going to start with issue 1. Probably a little bit of First Blood because I didn't get to read it, but I have it. But I think you got to read like 2 before you read like number 1. I remember Larry bringing that up last week, but we'll see.
And you kind of need to read the Free Comic Book Day joint too.
Yeah, and on top of that, we did a little bit of the reading of the ancillary books, the tie-ins. So we're gonna bring you some reviews of that. You got Poison Ivy. Oz, you got what's it, Punchline and Green Lantern? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna be talking about Shazam. It's yeah, and then as always, you can take part in the conversation by getting into the chat or hitting the link at fantasticforum.live. But really, you can. I think Jay, man, can you get the intern out here to say something about that? Tell us how we can get in touch with us.
Yes, I can totally get her to do her job.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to. Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype.
We don't pair twice.
Yeah. And on top of that, you can
review review. Well, not like that.
You okay, Jay?
Okay, now you're just playing with buttons.
A fucking intern, man.
Isn't this one of your copyrighted songs?
We're gonna get a copyright strike Jay. That's a shameless plug. Jay's trying to just sell his album. They did all
that
that.
wasn't me, and that wasn't copywritten.
Oh, that's something from the lab. That's not even finished yet.
He's gonna sue
Okay.
himself.
Sorry.
But yeah, on top of all that, you can also, if you're watching us on Twitch or YouTube, you can jump in the chat. Like Jay, give me one of those witty chat comments.
Tiger Claw says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? Did you guys see TMNT Mutant Mayhem? I plan to see it this weekend. I wasn't able to see it last week because I was at a cruise for a week." I saw it. I don't know. Did you guys see it?
I didn't get a chance to see it. No, I heard it was good though.
It was. There were parts about it that I liked and parts that I didn't.
Okay.
It's like, it's weird that I come out of it like liking Donatello the best. Like, that's odd for me.
You're not usually a Donatello guy?
No, I like him, just not best. Like, I'm normally a big Michelangelo guy, but he was a little bit lame in this one.
Oh yeah?
Donnie was a little bit cooler than he normally is.
What made him lame?
He's in the improv.
That made him lame. Like he's always trying to do stuff that isn't funny or try to be funny.
I'm not a big improv guy, so just him being into it was enough for me.
You know, strangely, I haven't heard anything about this movie, good or bad. I actually probably forgot that it even came out because of that.
Yeah, no, Larry.
I've heard a few people talk about it, and for the most part, it's positive. Like everyone's got like one or two things they don't like about it, but overall, everyone is enjoying it, and I feel the same. Like they switched up the origin a little bit with the Splinter not being related to a Shredder or anything. He's just like a New York street rat. But I didn't have a problem with that.
He's in love with a cockroach, right?
Say again?
He's in love with a cockroach, right?
I believe so.
I forget the character's name, and it's actually a character I should know because he's not that obscure.
The cockroach is a dude?
Originally, it was a dude, and I think that's why I heard about it, because the thing they were saying was that they made Splinter gay, but they actually made the cockroach a female in the movie, I think. I haven't seen it yet.
It's a trans cockroach?
Yeah, and well, people are freaking out because the miscommunication somewhere. I think they put out a poster for a little bit where it had a picture of the cockroach character, and you know, traditionally like he or something like that, and so people freaked out. But then that got taken down. It's like, oh, that wasn't supposed to go out like that. And apparently in the movie they changed its gender, so Splinter is now straight again. Personally, I don't think he should be in any relationship other than that of a single dad and Sensei.
Yeah.
Like, these aren't my turtles.
He wants more. And he's not a sensei. He's basically just watch TV to learn how to fight.
Yeah, once you teach someone you're a sensei, that counts.
No, but in this movie, that's his deal, right? Like he's just like a dude that took these guys in.
Yeah, he takes them in, and he's like doing the single dad thing, but he wants more, and they want more. And you know, they want to go out, but Splinter kind of hates people.
I did hear Splinter is also racist.
Yeah,
or speciest, whatever.
He really doesn't like humans.
Like a lot, though. Like it's yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you know what? I have heard some things about this movie.
Yeah. You just chose not to watch it. Yeah, no. The more I hear, the more I want to see. I just didn't like his hair in the trailer, but other than that, And
it's honestly not too distracting.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other stuff to go like see it for. Like honestly, the fight choreography is a little better than it needed to be. Just watching it and the stylization, and they have this one part where there's these 4 crime bosses that they need to talk to, and so they go to each individual place and fight the goons, but they splice it together. So it's like one continuous shot with the background changing. Like, it's pretty cool.
All right. No, you want to give it a rating?
It's pretty dope too.
Give it a
Superfly.
5 out of 5?
I would say 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5? All right. Good. There you go, Tiger Claw. Spoiler review.
Tiger Claw says, what did you think of the mutants? The mutants were cool. A lot different, but still pretty cool. I liked Bebop and Rocksteady. Mondo Gecko was pretty dope. No one actually does much. Like, they don't have the screen time for that, but I mean, I guess that's what the TV series is going to be for. But yeah, the mutants are cool. I like them.
And he also says that Leatherhead and Wingnut are female. No.
Some of them were female. I didn't like grab. There's like 12 of them. I can't remember all of them and what their gender is, but it's fine. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. I wasn't getting upset and talking about they made the movie woke by making some of the mutants female.
Yeah. One of the things I was telling, because I got to see Larry earlier and we're talking about it, and like, I don't like Ninja Turtles is one of those properties that I think I've said this before on the air too, where it's like there's been so many iterations of it and they change things and add things and stuff that at this point it's just a different version of it, and you have your own. Like at this point it's about if they're making it good or not, or doing it well or not, more than what the story or like what the changes are. Because it's changed so much, like just from the original cartoon, from the comics to the original cartoon, 80s cartoon, like was a big change, and you could still like both. People still like both. Technically, if not, they wouldn't be making Last Ronin. Yeah,
right. Oh, and this time it's Leo who has the crush on April.
Okay.
Which some people have an issue with that.
Why?
It just keeps happening, and I think people keep asking themselves why.
Yeah.
Like, why do these turtles keep falling in love with people?
Especially if they're raised by a bigot that hates people.
Well, they're not bigots. Like,
yeah,
they sneak out to do human stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Ninja Turtles, Tiger Claw in our Discord had another suggestion for us to review. He wanted us to check out, and I don't know the order of what it was, but it's basically Street Fighter versus TMNT.
Okay.
And yeah, that's a thing.
Huh?
It exists. I'm not gonna lie. The end of the second issue made me laugh. But other than that, it's pretty much what you think it's going to be so far. There are only 2 issues out right now.
Okay.
And yeah, like, what it is. There's a tournament. Baxter Stockman and M. Bison are behind it. The Turtles and the Street Fighters hate each other, then they like each other.
And they team up with
beats.
that guy.
So it's kind of one of those things where I think you already know if whether you're gonna like it just from the title.
How many issues is it gonna be?
5.
Okay. All right.
And I will say, initially I was not on board until that one joke. It's not even like a new joke. It's like an old joke, but it made me laugh.
What was the joke?
Well, basically, they're at a point where the Street Fighters and the TMNT, they're like doing like a half truce to kind of fight off this army that came in. And when they're done fighting, Chun-Li and Raphael have been kidnapped. And so Michelangelo gives a speech. He's like, all right, no more half measures. Like, we got 100% trust each other. We have to go out there and save Chun-Li. And then Donatello's like, and Raph, right? And Michelangelo's like, we got to go save Chun-Li and Raph. Like, you didn't let me finish.
That's funny. I'm glad my investment money's going to good use.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the stock is doing pretty good for IDW. You know, it's not great, but in hindsight, it's like not what it was 5 years ago. But let's see. Damn it! It erased from my. Never mind. I don't know what
Real
it's
quick, Tiger Claw says, I wish the movies adapted to IDW Comics because of all the world building it has done. The comics right now are in a new status quo with the wall coming down. Mutant Town is going to become a district in New York, and mutants are now integrated with the rest of the humans. Dude, spoilers. I haven't even gotten past to volume 2 yet. Hex says, if Ryu and Leonardo aren't uppercutting waterfalls, what are we even doing here? You have a point.
Yeah, look, we still got more issues, right? It can happen.
It can.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Since we're on the topic of comics, we should jump into our reviews. Let's hit that review music, Jay.
That's the wrong music.
Like Colonel. Well, not like.
Review.
Like
Review.
Well, not like that, but like.
We still need a visual component to that.
Give me like a month. I will work on that.
But yeah, Night Terrors. Night Terrors is DC's big event right now, and they're pushing ahead fast, right? Because they're all bi-weekly at this point.
Yeah. Well, the main books are bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, okay.
I don't think the spinoffs are.
I don't think so either, because I got the first 2 issues of the regular, but only one of the spinoffs.
No, but they might be, because they're all on number 2.
Oh no, you know what? I'm wrong. I got.
Well, a lot of them are.
Yeah.
Or some of them are. They're like starting to come in. They do. I think they've been doing like 6 books at a time.
Okay.
So there are probably 6 of them that are on number 2. Maybe 12. And the rest will be the next 2 following weeks.
Okay. But yeah, I had no idea this existed until you guys brought it up to me, and I'm actually, intrigued, because I think one of the first books, like the real, because you said you read the Free Comic Book Day, right, Jay? And then First Blood, but then there was another book that wasn't even like, that's where it kind of starts, but I forgot what book it was. And Larry was the one that said it last week, where it's like,
no, he was talking about First Blood.
Oh, okay.
So it's free comic book day, First Blood, then Night Terrors 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Well, we're gonna review number 1 right now, and number 1 is basically a dead man story with a Batman story mixed in, and he's stuck in Batman's dream, and he tries to go into Insomnia's dream. And it feels like I'm jumping in the middle of something, because that's exactly how issue 1 starts. Like when you think Night Terror number 1, you think you're gonna get a build up and everything like we have with any other. But like you said, there's the free comic book day and the First Blood. But in this story, it just feels like I'm jumping in issue 2 of something. And I'm a big Deadman fan, and I loved how this story played out. It felt almost like I'm like, this should be a Sandman story, and then lo and behold, Sandman. Yeah. And it's like, and the way they bring them out is crazy too. So, and it's all in dreams essentially, and it's crazy. But I really enjoyed it, and it's Joshua Williamson doing the writing. I forget who did the art. Was it Kamen Cooley?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I love Kamen Cooley too. So it's like, it's a really. I think they're really not pulling the punches with this event. What did you guys think of issue 1?
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Jay, you go first. Sorry.
I enjoyed it. Am I echoing on your side?
No.
Okay.
No.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was intriguing. I did read the other ones first, the free comic book day, and then First Blood, and then 1. So it still feels kind of like jumping in. I mean, First Blood does a pretty good introduction, but the free comic book day just jumps right in.
And in these jumping right in moments, do you feel? I felt like I was jumping in Night Terrors 1, but I didn't feel like lost. It's almost like a cold open to a TV show,
Right.
And how is it with reading those before? Like you said, you still feel a little like you're just jumping in anyway.
Well, no, like not with number 1.
Okay.
Like the free comic book day, it feels like you're just being thrown into it. But yeah, after that, it's all pretty smooth, if not a little quickly paced. But yeah, it's a quickly paced. Yeah.
Okay. So it's more fast paced. Oz, what did you think of Night Terrors 1?
Yeah, it is. It does kind of feel like it jumps you in there. It has a little bit of a intro with Deadman, kind of like really just talking a little bit about himself, and then like when you actually get to what's happening, he's already mid battle with the villain. I didn't read First Blood. I didn't read the free comic book day, and the other one I didn't read that I should have is the Satana one, because that's the one that told me is where the villain first shows up.
I did read that one. That one is good, but even that one, yeah, it's like you need the primer of First Blood to go into Zatanna. Like it does split off, so.
Hector Chat says, isn't that how a dream is? You just jump in without realizing where you started. Sort of. I think you guys read it wrong, or at least Mo.
Mm-hmm.
I think Deadman is not in a dream. like I think the part that feels like he's in a dream is where he's doing his little intro, but I think he's awake because he's not, because he's
he's not
dead,
the one.
and he's just using Batman's body to fight the villain.
Yeah,
Right. Batman's asleep, which is why he's not fighting him on it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I will say that I did read it wrong in the sense that I read Shazam first, and Shazam is that it's all in a dream, but it felt so similar to to what I saw with, like, I could tell with reading Shazam that, okay, this is what's happening. All the heroes are stuck in a dream state, and it's kind of like that episode of or that issue of Sandman where Dr. Destiny, like he put everybody to sleep in the world, he locked them in dreams. And so I just assumed that when I read issue 1, now that I think of it,
Yeah, and I'm actually really surprised that Mo, especially you, that you hadn't heard about this, because every book that I got like has the type of art that you'd like be all over.
Yeah.
Except for the Punchline one. Like that's the most generic ass cover of all the books that I bought.
Hold on, keep it up.
It's still a good cover. I'm surprised how much I like Punchline here. Yeah, that's probably like the most generic ass covers. I mean, this is Night Terrors 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some crazy stuff. Like Detective just goes off on a weird, like that's some stuff right there.
Yeah, nightmares.
Like this isn't just a cover. Like this actually shows up at some point.
Yeah, nice.
So,
Now, technically, Mo had heard of this before. He just quickly pushed it from his mind after I told him.
When was that, G?
When I first heard about it, and I told you Zatanna in the new Night Terror event was going to be fighting something Lovecraftian.
Oh yeah, that's right. And it's funny because when I saw the cover for Zatanna, I was like, I should be reading Zatanna. Something's telling me I got to read Zatanna, and it was that little unconscious part of the brain, the Call of Cthulhu that I heard in the back of my brain. That is Joe Thulu. But yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but that was what, like 4 months ago, maybe
something like that.
Yeah, I got to read that too. But how do you guys feel about like wanting to read all of the tie-ins here?
Oh, dude, I love this kind of stuff. Like seeing the inner workings of the heroes and villains, like how it plays out, like even though a lot of their nightmares are easy to kind of guess.
Mm-hmm.
But even these books, like they flip some of them on their heads. Like Poison Ivy, her nightmare is just weird, but she's actually happy there.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that kind of thing is interesting. Like it's almost kind of like the Lotus Eater, which the Lotus Eater, of course, is where your hero or villain is like comatose and they get like everything, they dream everything they want. And, a lot of times that's fun, but it can be predictable. Batman wishes his parents were alive. Superman wishes Krypton hadn't blown up.
Mm-hmm.
But these have been like consistently interesting.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought with this one. Oz, what'd you think?
I'm actually like not too thrilled about all the tie-ins. Sort of. They're all essentially the same thing. The hero or villain in some cases is trapped in their own worst nightmare. And yeah, it's an interesting concept, but you spread it out over so many different books, it kind of gets a little bit repetitive. and like Jay said, some of them like are really, really predictable. But I keep coming back to the art, like some of the crazy stuff that they put in these books just looks amazing. It just makes them worth getting the book on their own. And on top of that, I'm the type of person that if this villain came in and put the planet to sleep, and the other books don't address it, like they don't show, hey, what happened when all the heroes and villains are put into their nightmares, I kind of be sitting here going, what the hell's up with that? Like, what happened? He did this to the whole world. Why weren't these books affected? So I'm kind of like caught in the middle, where I'm glad they did it. I'm not glad I read a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But,
how many did you get? Because you said your pull list turned into all Night Terror stuff. Mostly, right?
I haven't been back since right before Comic-Con, but I've got, let's see, the main one, Nightwing, Green Lantern, Punchline, Detective, and Batman.
Okay. And you read all of those already or no?
Yeah. I read them like the day after we said we were going to do it.
Okay. And Jay, you read a bunch of them too, right?
Yeah.
Now, we're almost at the end of it now, right? Like the end of August is the
22nd.
22nd? Okay.
I think it's 4 books, and Jay just said he got issue 3 for the main story.
Yeah.
I don't know how many books the side stories are.
Yeah, I think they're either 2 or 3.
The side stories are all 2 issue.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
Okay, so I'll probably pick the second half when I'm at the shop.
Yeah. Okay, I got to see how much I'm going to be spending here, because I actually like the idea. I like this event. Like it's similar to what I've read in like an issue of Sandman, or even like in Sandman, it was Dr. Destiny too, and they actually do that in the Netflix show too. And it's the Dreamstone, and they don't call him Dr. Destiny, but they still call him John D. And it's the Dreamstone that he's using, not the Nightmare Stone that this guy's using, So, or he's looking for at this point, right?
Yeah.
He's looking for the Nightmare Stone because John D hid it. Basically, he hid it in one of the dreams of the heroes. So he put everyone to sleep so he could go through the dreams and try to find it.
Now, this Nightmare Stone, where does anybody know where it came from?
They mentioned it, I think, in the second issue. They give a history of it, and I don't remember it right now.
Because it's clearly not the Dreamstone that powers John D originally.
No, they make a clear distinction between the Dreamstone and the Nightmare Stone.
Cool. And see, I think that's a good thing too, because then it's like, yeah, you don't have to deal with Sandman, the Vertigo Sandman, But then they still brought Wesley Dodds, which is cool.
Yeah, and so they talk about it in the second issue, where when Deadman starts to explain to Sandman what's happening, they kind of go over and the little
hold on.
This is all like a previous case for Sandman, and how this stone became what it is. I don't want to like spoil too much, but yeah, there's basically a little mini Sandman story in the first few pages, and so you get it goes into more current times and how this stone basically gets powered up.
Nice. And you said that's issue 2 of Night Terrors?
Yep.
Cool. Probably read that tonight. All right. So Jay, man, why don't you let's you guys, anything else you got to say about Night Terrors number 1 before we give it a little rating?
No.
Very good. Cool. Jay, man, why don't you give me a rating for Night Terrors number 1?
I would give it a 5. Like, it's just really good. interesting, and it definitely makes me want to keep reading.
Cool. Oz, give me a rating for issue 1 of Night Terrors.
Yeah, I think I'll go with 5 too. The art is great. I know a lot of people, new readers, might not know who Dead Man is, so they give you a good little explanation of him. And I same thing for Sandman, and they also give him a very good, short but sweet and informative description, so you kind of know who these characters are.
Cool. And for me, that it's a 5 too. I loved it. I love Deadman, and it like even the way they did his origin, like it's not just showing you how it happened. He tells you what happened, but he the way Joshua Williamson retells it, with him basically telling it, is more of just like what he misses about being alive, that thrill, and how it affected him to the moment of his death, and being the trapeze guy. So I really enjoyed that. And, Williamson's really good at almost anything he does. So he's so yeah, it's a 5 for me. The art too. And it really makes me want to read all the tie-ins. I know what you guys told me already. Like, I'm like, okay, but I'll still probably read them. They're pretty, judging from my Shazam one experience of the tie-in, like it's still a fun book. And it's it's a little different even within this Night Terror thing, because it's a different character's nightmare. And so I can't wait. Even if I don't enjoy it. Like, I read that Dark Web one, and I read all those tie-ins, and it was there was no payoff. So at least this one already paid off with just my enjoyment of these issues. What's Hex saying?
Hex says, I think I'll wait for the trades to come out of this so I can get it all at once. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, and it might be sooner than you think, because they really like condensed this. It's a summer event, so it's basically just July, and it's the 4 issues and the tie-ins all in 2 months. So it doesn't. It's not too prolonged. You might get it by October. Yeah. All right. Hey, Jay, man, why don't you tell me about Poison Ivy's tie-in for Night Terror, man?
So basically, Ivy is with Harley, and they're in their home, and Batman and Selina are their neighbors, and she feels like everything is wrong, even though it's the life she wants. And it's really kind of freaking her out, but she's slowly but surely coming around to it. But then in her dreams, someone else shows up who is awake. And I forget who it is. It's like someone she knows, but she's kind of like disrupting Ivy's kind of descent into the dream. So all the extra characters like basically kill her.
Mm.
And part 2 isn't out yet, but that's kind of just where it leaves us.
How's that for a tie-in for you? How'd you like that one?
I liked it. Like, I like that it's subverting the whole nightmare thing. It's like, like with some of the others, it's like just straight them fighting their nightmare. But this isn't like, why is this even a nightmare for her? It's like what she wants, but everything is just so off that it creeps her out. And that's just interesting. I found it interesting to me.
Kind of reminds me of that cartoon episode of the animated series where she grows her own family.
Right.
Wants to have that, like, the home life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who drew this and who wrote it?
That one is Willow Wilson and Jessica Fong.
Okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed the covers for it. Let me see if I can find here. There was one cover I saw that was like really creepy. Like, I think it was for issue 2.
Oh, okay, I know which image you're talking about.
You don't happen to have it on you, do you?
Trying to find a larger version of it.
Yeah.
But I have the tiny one.
Yeah. But it's just such like, it's just the texture and it kind of, it's like a nice image, but the texture in it makes it creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, let's see here. I'm trying to open. Cool. Let's see here. Share. I found a pretty good one, I think. Yeah. So like that in their eyes right there.
Right.
That is messed up.
And it's like, damn it. But yeah, it's I really like that cover, and just the honeycomb eyes, and she's eating herself as a like caterpillar, and yeah,
right,
very nice. All right, so that's another one I gotta read. What do you give that one?
Oh, that one was a 5. Subverting expectations and being creepy.
Nice.
And everyone's like, the art is like really good in it.
Is it the art like the covers, like that style too, but more, I guess, less surreal maybe?
I would say it differs.
Okay.
But it's still like creepy. Like it doesn't feel like a bait and switch, but it is like a different kind of style.
Okay.
I also read the Zatanna.
Oh yeah.
Which was cool because she actually managed to stay awake. And so Insomnia can't go after her himself because he's stuck in dreams. So he sends these like nightmare nights after her. And she ends up teaming up with Robot Man in order to like protect some of the heroes who are asleep and get away from the knights attacking them. And that was pretty cool.
I thought that was because I saw the cover for that one, and I thought it was interesting because there's certain heroes that he might not be able to get. Either they have some psychic protection or are robot men. Like it's interesting.
Right. Like all the robots are unaffected.
Right. Or even like Dead Man because he's dead, like doesn't dream. Like it's an interesting way to do it too. So yeah, when I saw the cover with her and Robot, I'm like, Robot Man. I gotta check that out. And
Damien's awake because of course he is.
Yeah. Because he has insomnia. Yeah. And how'd you like that Poison Ivy one? I mean the Zatanna one.
I liked it. But part of it is me I like Zatanna as a character. So anytime she's got a book going on, I try to get it. And this one is good. It's like, even though she's awake, it's still delving a lot into her like tragedies of her past, and she actually kind of hates not Robot Man personally, but the Doom Patrol, because they were involved when her dad was killed in a seance.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's got to kind of work through that. And then the nightmares, of course, are taking the form of her dad and other people she's let down. But it kind of leads to this cool moment where they do the partner switch. So Cliff starts fighting her demons and she starts fighting his. Because Dorothy and I forget who the other one was that came after him.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Add that to the list of the ones I gotta read too. I'm gonna be spending money on this shit, man. Because I felt like once I read the Shazam one and I read the number one, I'm like, man, I want to read all of these.
Yeah.
And then Osmond, which one are you gonna talk about? The Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Tell me about that one.
First, real quick, just to kind of answer Heck's question a little bit. I found the trade is going to be available in February the 6th, 2024.
Damn.
And it's going to have First Blood, Night Terrors 1 through 4, Night Terrors Night's End. So yeah, it says the full Night Terror story. So none of the side issues.
Just the main one.
Yeah.
The side issues are in another book, another trade.
I mean, you're still looking at 192 pages.
Yeah, because it's the main book, the main story.
Yeah. So
But that's for the hardcover, right?
yeah. So the trade, the paperback's probably what, a month later, something like that. Oh, you're talking about digital. I'm sorry, you don't.
No, for heck. Like I don't need a digital trade. I'm gonna have all the individual issues.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and the hardcover is $30. So yeah, you figure trade's probably gonna be like 15, 20.
And there is an order to reading these. I had I made a list, but I didn't read it in that order, of course. But subscribe, like, hit the bell, because I might do a video just on that, just giving you the order of what to read, how to read it. Yeah. But yeah, tell me about the Green Lantern one.
Yeah, just kind of how we said earlier. It's Hal Jordan's in a nightmare, and that's basically the gist of it. Actually, the best part of this Green Lantern book for me was the side story. What do we call it? Not backstory.
The backup.
Yeah, the backup, which is a Sinestro book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually a little bit more interesting to me because he's the one that, like, that's his whole power, is to make other people feel fear. And he got broken down during Dark Crisis. Like he got messed up, and he's dealing with that now. And then on top of that, like, he put to sleep and put into a nightmare of his own making, and it turns out both the hero and the villains of his nightmares are himself. So it's much more interesting than actually what's going on with Hal Jordan, because it's just Hal Jordan, crashing a plane, trying to stop a plane crash, crashing another plane, and then eventually, just fighting weird. I don't even know what to call them. They're like nightmare creatures, I guess.
Yeah, Terror Knights or something.
Terror Knights or the Terrors. And it's same as the other books. The art is pretty good, and obviously because it's Hal Jordan and they're trying to instill fear in him. At some point, he's got to face his own past as Parallax.
Yeah.
So that it's not boring. I actually did enjoy it, but when I get to the Sinestro story, I forgot all about the Green Lantern stuff. I'm like, oh, oh, here we go. This is a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Seeing Sinestro like so beat down at the beginning of it that he admits he's feeling fear himself is like, oh, this man has been through some stuff.
Now, this is the last book, Green Lantern book we reviewed when he's stuck on Earth again. This takes place during that. That's the same book.
Yeah, because his power got taken away in Dark Crisis.
Okay.
And so he's just kind of on Earth, and everybody on Earth got put to sleep. So yeah, that's why he's there.
Okay, so it's still like continuation of that book.
Cool. And that's how it starts off. You know, he's like a regular ass dude on Earth, and he without his power ring, like people aren't afraid to punk him around a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, he's got to be careful how he talks to people. Which is, for a guy like Sinestro, that's gotta suck. Like,
yeah,
he went from being so like, he talks about how powerful he became, and now he's basically nothing, and that's his greatest fear, is to be powerless.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if the for Hal Jordan's Nightmare, it was just that Grant Morrison book reprinted?
that's my nightmare.
Yeah.
Making me pour another now.
It's like, because some of those issues were kind of like that, like a weird dream, like a Green Lantern's dream, essentially. Not necessarily like a beautiful dream or a nightmare, but they were so surreal for what we're used to for Green Lantern. Yeah,
it's like he tried to make a crisis book for just Green Lantern.
Yeah,
with all the other multiversal lanterns and all that, and the Grant Morrison is on his own stuff.
Yeah,
actually, you know what? This Night Terror thing, like, I think Grant Morrison could put out some decent stuff for this, because he could just be as weird as he wants, and an artist is gonna go in there and just. I mean, like you said, some of his other books, like the art in it was like, it could fit into any of these books, and they were just regular ass stories.
But I think what makes this book, especially like from an event standpoint, is the people they have working on it. I mean, you got Tini Howard, you got G. Willow Wilson, you got Joshua Williamson, and not to mention the artists. Like, these are legit, like, they're not the Grant Morrison of comic writing. They're not from that type of school, but they're more from like a little bit of the old school style of comic writing, but they're modern, and they have really good sensibilities and pacing and things like that. They're more in the technical side of writing comics, as well as the creative. Like, they got a good balance of that, you know. So I think maybe like if he was the head of the event, I don't think this event would be as good, you know what I mean?
And the Green Lantern book is written by Jeremy Adams, and the penciler is actually Eduardo Pansica, and he's been on Green Lanterns for a while, and he's got some of the better Green Lantern stuff for recent times. Like, you know, obviously there's been people that have done better stuff, but for modern comics in the last 5-10 years, his Green Lantern stuff's been on point.
Nice. You didn't read the Green Lantern one, did you?
No, not yet.
How would you rate Oz's review of the Green Lantern?
I would give it a 5.
Because
it's what I needed to know.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah. Cool. Oz, what would you rate the Green Lantern tie-in?
I was gonna be at 4 until I got to the Sinestro stuff, and it's a 5, because like, I'm willing to buy the other book just for the 5 pages at the end with the second part of that story, and I get a okay Hal Jordan story too.
Cool. And what's the other one you read?
Punchline.
Now that's a character that we're all somewhat familiar with, but I haven't read anything with her in it.
I gotta be honest. When she first showed up, I thought it was stupid. I thought, okay, so well they're trying to make Harley a good guy. They're putting her in the Bat family, so they need to give Joker another girlfriend to keep that dynamic going. But the more stuff I see her in, the more stuff I see her in, I'm starting to like her more and more. Yeah, she's pretty good, and her book was a little bit more interesting than the others because she like it starts off where she doesn't know she's in a nightmare. And the way it's written, we don't know she's in a nightmare. I kind of knew because I know what the story is, but it's just it's her awake in the world where everybody else is falling asleep, and she attributes it to her work with chemicals. It's like, well, I'm somehow immune to whatever happened, and then slowly as it progresses, she's nightmare stuff starts to happen where you the reader start to realize, oh, I think she is in a nightmare, and that's where it really starts to get interesting. So yeah, the first half is probably a little bit less than the first half is her basically in a dream. Everybody's knocked the F out. She's gonna rob some banks, like she's gonna take advantage of this stuff, and then she runs into Batgirl. It's like, what the hell are you doing up? You're supposed to be asleep. Oh well, I'll just kill you. So and little by little, the nightmare starts to really kick in, and that's where she starts to freak out, and that's where it really starts to ramp up a little bit. I'm actually surprised this is going to be 2 issues because it takes its time.
Yeah. And Batgirl was awake too.
That's the thing. Is she awake or is she part of Punchline's dream?
Yeah. Oh, that's Huh. Yeah, might be. That's a little interesting look. I might get another one to the list.
So just get all of them at this point.
Yeah, and that's what I like about this event being only 2 months, because it's like everything is 2 issues more or less, and then the main storyline is 4, and it'll be done. I could be like, yeah, and it's good. That's the other thing. Yeah.
As I describe it and kind of page through it a little bit, look, this might just be me, but it feels like if this is 2 books, book 1 is the setup, and book 2 is going to be the punchline.
Yeah.
Because it's just a lot of setup. And like I said, the closer you get to the end, like it really starts to go off. And I think book 2 is just going to be like all kind of crazy nonsense, like full on dream world for this character.
Huh. What would who wrote the punchline one?
Lore.
What's the creative team?
Lore or Lori.
Peter Lorre.
Yeah, looking for the full list. Well, I think
Lori
this one has
Meyer and Guimaraes.
That's you know what? I don't know if I can pronounce it any better. Yeah, I can't find the. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Danny Lore is the writer. Lucas Meyer is the artist. Alex, what he said is the colorist. Yeah, I mean the art is good.
Okay.
I want to show you like a page or 2, but like I don't like a lot of these pages are spoilers. I mean, it's not spoiler in it, but
yeah, but without context, they wouldn't be spoilers, really, right?
I mean, it just looks good.
Yeah. I wonder.
Yeah, it does. The art is actually really good in this.
Did you read it, Jay? Or
thumbing through it now.
Oh, okay.
It's really good, and it's one of the books that like doesn't get all crazy, like it doesn't do all this
Right.
All,
Surreal.
all this dream stuff. It's just a good looking book.
Wait, hold on. Let me put you up here. Wow. Yeah, that's a good page.
And I would say the camera's like washing a lot of the stuff out. There's
Yeah,
a lot of detail.
because digital, but it looks good still. And that's the preview page, right? So there's no dialogue in it, or can I just not see it?
You just can't see the dialogue,
Okay.
but it's basically a punchline saying, or bad girl saying, looks like someone stayed up past their nap time, and punchline saying, thank God I was about to fall asleep from the boredom, and then getting ready to kill her.
Yeah. So what'd you rate that Oz, the punchline book?
Same thing. I gotta go 5.
Man.
It's just good.
Yeah.
Like I said, it feels a little bit different from the other books. All the other books,
Yeah.
we start in the nightmare. This one, you don't know. Is she in the nightmare or is she in the real world?
Right. Like, and it could be part of her own psychosis too. Like, she's always in the nightmare, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like created a designer drug. Like that's her thing is chemicals.
Right.
So, and some of it is scarecrow toxin that she adds to it. So,
Right.
Is it the toxins? Is it did she actually? It's good. It's good.
You read Punchline?
She doesn't have an ongoing right now. She had like a 6-issue thing. The Gotham game, I think it was called, and like I read that, and that's where she takes over the Royal Flush Gang, and has them drug dealing her. Oh, Jay didn't know that.
No, I love the Royal Flush Gang. Like, those guys are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where, and they become like her drug dealers. Like she makes the drugs and they sell it.
I'm just kind of wondering how she gets on with Ivy, because I know Ivy's main thing now is the plants, but she was a chemist. Like,
yeah,
in that series, she doesn't interact with any of the other villains.
I'm gonna have to read it.
I don't think. Yeah, it's a fine book. It's not as good as this one, but it's still a good story, especially if you like the Royal Flush Gang, because it really gets into some of those characters a little bit more.
Dude, they beat Superman. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
And that
it was awesome how they did it too. Like, I can't remember the details, but it was just basically he just did something that Superman couldn't stop, and it's like, yeah, like, yeah, you're gonna take me to jail, but I won.
And it was them where that episode of was it Justice League?
Yeah,
or Batman with the girl, the psychic girl.
Yeah, that was Justice League. One of the best episodes of Justice League Unlimited.
Oh yeah, so you haven't read this book, have you, Jay? Jay, you didn't read the Punchline?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I was just looking through the art.
There's her gang behind her of Royal Flushes.
Oh, nice.
Let's see here.
I don't want to hold it too steady because there's words on mine.
Right. That's dope.
But I mean, you know what? That's page 2. So how much is getting spoiled on page 2?
You're enhancing his experience. Although I did see some viewership numbers drop, so maybe they didn't like the potential spoiler. I mean, that person didn't like the. The other book I read was Shazam, and it's basically Mary Marvel's nightmare, and it like that one kicks in, like it just feels like she's not in a dream, and then she wakes up from a dream, and it's still she's just dream within a dream, and it's just her being terrified about her fellow brothers or family getting killed, and and it's just getting worse and worse. It ramps up, and then right at the end, it's like she kind of she's trying to go to a sleep center for a sleep study, because she keeps calling down the thunder in her sleep because she's having these nightmares. And then it turns out that's still part of the dream. Her calling it in her sleep is part of the dream. And then she gets to the spoiler. She gets to the sleep center within the dream that's like at the top of a cliff. And then, but yeah, and it was just an interesting little story, and it's to be continued. So it's just part one, but I everything, like, it just flowed well. And I don't even know who wrote and drew this, but the art was on point, and the flow of the story was on point, even with the all the dream jumping in and jumping out of dream motif that they had going. But I could see how, like,
Mark Waid.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Roger Cruz and Wellington Diaz.
Yeah, and that's the reason I picked that one, because it's a Shazam book, and it's Mark Waid writing it, and I know he's got a good sense of those characters. And with Night Terror, it's like like, okay, so he's doing that, and this is one of the things I've always said about DC. A lot of times is they get right for this event, they're really getting good teams, and I don't know if it's people that are already writing those titles, but they just happen to be all like people I like writing these tie-ins too, as well as the main book. So that's part of what makes me, look at that.
That is amazing.
It's so cool, and it kind of even has that little bit of a warped feeling, like kind of fisheye, like distorted, because it's a nightmare. So it adds to the little bit of like uneasiness of her nightmare. And the thing is, that's the thing, she's having nightmare, but it's all psychological, so there's no goblin monster night things. It's literally like her antagonist in her dream is Captain Marvel, basically Billy, as fucking with the black suit, so that's what she's fighting in her nightmare. Like, that is what terrorizes her, and he's killing off all the family and stuff like that, and torturing her and all that. So I don't know where that's gonna come into play, like what it means dream psychology wise, but hopefully issue 2 will have that. And it was a really, I mean, it's a quick review, but it was a quick read, and it was fun. And I just it really, like, I read that before Night Terrors 1, so I'm like, okay, if this is like this, then I'm definitely gonna. And then I opened Night Terrors 1 and it's Deadman. I'm like, oh shit. It's like, I'm in. So I really enjoyed it, and it's it's a 5 out of 5 easily. Like, the art, like just that page alone that Jay showed you, it's like, it was just so impactful, and reading it into that, like, was really, like, getting to that point, just really good. There's a scene where she, like, lifts up a car that just looks cool, like super heroic, but it's part of the nightmare, like, and it's kind of, technically homage to, like, Shazam #1 with the car, but it's her doing it, and it's not super heavy-handed in the homage. But 5 out of 5 for me from that one. And I can't say anything more other than that. Really, it's just so good. You guys didn't read that one, did you?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm glad I picked that one, because it's something maybe easily overlooked, or maybe or put off till later. But when I saw Mark Waid on it, I'm like, I'm in. Yeah. All right, like, this is our we would have had more to talk about if Larry was here. Again, Larry ruining the show. But I don't know if there's another topic you guys want to talk about, or if you guys want to call it an early night. I'm down. I'm a little tired. So, but we got through all our night terrors. Unless you guys want to talk about other stuff that you read, the night terror wise. Anything that stands out?
Night terror wise?
Yeah. No. Or yeah, I mean, if you guys want to do another topic that we didn't produce, we can. Any news or anything, we can. We got time. We got through our list.
I will say I've really started getting into Joe Hill.
Oh yeah.
I just read 2 of his books recently. One was A Basket Full of Heads, which is fucking hilarious. Basically,
those are on Black Label, or the independent ones.
I think, yeah, they're both Black Label.
Okay.
But yeah, this girl has this cursed, well, not cursed, blessed Nordic axe, and she accidentally kills someone, and the head doesn't die, and so she's like basically just carrying this head around, and she keeps encountering people who are trying to hurt her, and so she like kills them, and their heads just keep staying alive. So she like takes them, and then they like argue with her, and they're like blaming her for them being like heads and
severed. Yeah,
it's just really, really funny. Which with horror is not always easy to do, to like be scary and funny,
and literally like in the medium too, like in a comic book format, it's tricky too.
Right. But yeah, it was really good. And then I read Glass, which wasn't funny. That was more just horror. Basically, this glass rain, like glass starts raining from the sky, killing anyone caught in it. And so this girl, her girlfriend dies. And so she's like, she wants to make a trip up to the girl's father to let him know what happened. And so it's her journey as she has to like look out for rain and deal with other people. And the rain is happening all over. So already like society is kind of breaking down a little bit. And yeah, it's just the journey, and it's actually really good. Like one of those drama horror things. Like it's good. The way everything is all like goes from fine to post-apocalyptic is like really cool, interesting, and like, understandable with like glass raining.
Right. Because from the moment you said glass raining, I just thought like, what umbrella am I going to use in that situation? You know.
Right.
But in like then it's like really like that is an apocalyptic event. Like even if it just rains for like a day, you know, like. But if it's constant storms, like,
right, and it's like an on and off thing, and it's
that's crazy.
That was really good. Like, I'm definitely like thinking about just going through and finding all his comics and like checking them out.
Yeah, I remember we reviewed the Cape, the one shot back in the day. That was his.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then he has a whole imprint in Black Label. I think there's like 6 books in there. And then he did a bunch. There's a bunch of stuff that he did on what's that shit? On ID was it? Yeah, IDW or Only Press, one of those. I think it was IDW for sure. But so yeah, he did a bunch of books there, and then he did that show. They did a show based on his book Nosferatu.
Oh, was that him?
Yeah, that's him too. Yeah.
I always wanted to watch that, but I never got around to it.
Yeah, it's like, well, trying to find it on demand and stuff is tricky. But I mean, well, you always just buy it on Prime, but you should be able to find that there. But yeah, and yeah, no, he's good. He's good. He wrote a couple of the Creep Show on Shudder. Like, I think he did the one that you made Larry watch, the doll one.
Oh, right, the House of the Head.
Yeah, I think that was his. Yeah,
dude, that was so funny. Like, I can't believe Larry got scared.
Well, it's Larry. yeah. No, he's good, and that's where like some of his stuff, his humor, he's good at it because I guess his approach on horror isn't from a trying to scare type. It's just trying to tell a story, and it can be funny as well as scary. Yeah, that's like his style. Because even the way they did Nosferatu the show, it's kind of corny, like the way it looks, the effect, and but it just fits the tone well. Like when you read it and what you imagine and what you see is kind of the same thing. That's cool. There's another group of horror stuff that's pretty good, but I've only read one issue. It's the Bone Orchard Mythos, and it's Jeff Lemire's. It's a shared universe, horror universe, and it has a bunch of different books. But I was worried because it's like I think 4 or 5 different books. It's like if I'm gonna buy 5 books a month for like how long,
Right.
But they're not coming out like that. I think you get one here, one month, one get like 3. Well, when one hits 3, then the other one hits number 1. It's kind of like when we did Gideon Falls, like it's that team. So it's Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino doing them. So those are pretty good. I think they might adapt them to show, but like the shared universe type horror show. But who knows? They always say that's the plan, but executing it is different, especially now with a strike and all that. So
right.
Yeah, some stuff might be easier to just cancel. But that was one because I meant to bring it up to you, Jay, too, because it's like if we can, by the time we get Halloween, like we could literally do like a Bone Orchard Mythos, either a show like the live stream like this, or just produce a video ahead of time and just have it ready for Halloween time.
Okay.
Because it's light reading. There's some reading involved, but there's also with time it can be done. Even if we'll shoot a video a little bit here, a little bit there, and then just edit it all together smoothly. Yeah. So something I've been meaning to tell you, but I forget. But now I did.
Okay.
But yeah, I was thinking with the Bone North and meet those would be a good one, and then we could probably do one for the Joe Hill stuff because I think if he has like 4 books, I think they're only like 1 of 4 or something, right? Too like they're not ongoing.
Right.
Yeah. So we could do like every week in October, do one Joe Hill review. Yeah. Of all his books or something. Yeah. Just pre-producing Halloween themed October as we like to do.
Right.
How about Ozma? You anything else you discovered in comics? Anything new you haven't gotten to talk about?
Nah. I picked up a bunch of books at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And like after I bought them, I think I was telling Lawrence that the books I bought, I think you bought them like the year before.
I bought them the year before?
Yeah. Like it felt like I was in the same spot where you got them, and the same guy hustling his books. And it's I don't have them with me, and maybe on another episode we'll talk about them.
Yeah,
it's about he called it like the Asian 300. This Korean general fighting off like thousands of samurais from a Japanese invasion.
Okay,
And
I might have bought that.
it feels like you did. Like I'm pretty sure it was in the exact same spot, like the same booth, in the exact same way, where it's just me and Lawrence were walking, and dude's a hustler, man. He comes up and
really in.
and he's like, yeah, I got these books, or you know what, you could also just get the trade, and like, yeah, it was crazy. How many books did I buy? I don't know. It's probably like 15 books or something like that. Like I basically bought 2.5 trades of his stuff, and I read all of them, and they're decent. I might hit you up later with the title or the picture of it, and maybe you can go into your archive and see if you can find it. But I'm at this point, I'm like 90% sure you have these books too. Maybe not like the last 3 or 4, or however many he wrote since last year. But I'm pretty sure you at least have like the first trade worth of these books.
That sounds about right. I bought a couple. I bought a novel, and Larry actually interviewed the writer. It's in somewhere here. Insert video link here. But yeah, it was a pretty good. It's kind of a mix of like a Born Identity in a Mass Effect type universe, but it's not as expansive in terms of galactic colonization. They're still like up to Mars. Yeah. So, and I made Larry read it after a night of drinking. I'm like, here, read this because you're interviewing the guy tomorrow. And then so he read a couple of like chapters. And
I thought you were going to say pages.
Yeah, no, he read a good amount, but he got it.
Man, I can't believe he still read something.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I literally told him the next day, like, you didn't read that book, did you? He goes, oh yeah, I did. Yeah, like, wow, all right, cool, it worked out. So there's a video for that. When I went to Monster Palooza, I bought this comic book called Inversion, and it's kind of like a time cop type murder mystery, and it's time travel, and it's kind of like a Sound of Thunder mixed with like Time Cop, that Van Damme movie. And but it's really
a bad movie.
I know, but this comic is actually really good. Like I really enjoyed it, and I made Larry read it. So I filmed the video. I haven't filmed my part. I filmed Larry's part, and then I got to edit that too. So
I thought you were gonna say you filmed him reading it. Like, well, that's a boring ass video. It's just him going, oh.
So my idea was to like, I'll do a short, like, because the reason I bring it up is because I was trying to find those guys that made that book at Comic-Con, because I wanted to be like, well, have them tell you what it's about. So in the video I could be like, yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what it's about. I'll have the guys that actually wrote it tell you what it's about, and then just cut to that. And then I didn't find them, so now I have to change how I do the video. But then, like, I thought, well, since I'm gonna see Larry, like, I should just film him since he read it. While I was cutting his hair, I was like, Larry, tell me what you think. But then Larry just goes into a full-on review, like he's doing a show here, and it's like I had to film him for like 15 minutes. So like, oh, Larry. Okay. So after like 6 minutes, I'm like, Larry, like, just tell me what you thought. Like, all the preamble I already did, like, here's what Larry thought about it. That's all, 2-3 minutes. But it ended up being like 12. You know how Larry can be. But yeah, so that video is coming soon. And then, but yeah, it's pretty good. Like, I think it's only 4 issues. I got all 3 of them that are out right now, and then can't wait for number 4. And then, yeah. But as far as finding more comics, I haven't really shopped around. I've just been stuff for production and some stuff that I see in news. I'm like, let me check this out. Well, yeah, I know they announced they gave a teaser for Spider-Man Reign 2, but they don't say it's Rain, Spider-Man Rain 2. They say they just showed the picture and it just looks like that art. So I'm like, and it just has a 2 on it. So
I saw that. It's a cool picture. But I have no idea what's going on. Like,
right.
I can tell that's Mary Jane maybe because of the red hair, but then are they like, does he have the symbiote? Are
Well,
they stuck together? I don't know what's happening.
yeah. So, and that's the thing. It's supposed to give you that sense of like weirdness because in that first part, the symbiotes just hatch, like they breed, and the whole city gets eaten by symbiotes, and then Mary Jane's already dead because you remember how I was telling you about Renew Your Vows, how like him getting her pregnant gave her powers.
Yeah.
Well, in Spider-Man Rain, it just gave her cancer, and she died. So
she's
I don't
in
know
a
what.
wedding gown.
Yeah,
I'd looked at a totally different picture. Like
Let me see.
everything
Well,
that's white was black in the picture I saw.
yeah, I think that might have been on purpose because of yeah, I think they were like blacking out stuff as for the teaser, but let me see here. Because it's almost silhouette-y, and then yeah, and it looks like Black Cat might be back there or something. I don't know.
Here, I'll
see if you can share it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it looked really dark and confusing, but I figured that was like they're blacking out stuff so that you won't.
Yeah, so this is the one that I saw.
Yeah.
At first. And so you see how it's all black. I thought, she's got the symbiote or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I guess this is God damn it. I can't like I click on the picture and then is that sharing? Oh, now I lost you guys. No, it's not. God damn it. This is complicated. This is why.
Well, yeah. Well, what I like to do, I just download the picture and then.
Well, that's the thing. I wasn't like prepared to. I didn't know we were going to talk about this.
Yeah. No, I know. I do it on the fly sometimes, but it's still like it doesn't work as smoothly as I would want it to.
Okay. And so that's.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I can see that she's got that. That's a wedding gown, and yeah, I get the impression that she's dead. What with how.
Yeah.
Her hands are, and
yeah,
I think she's got a little piece of mask right there.
No, that's her lipstick.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they still haven't said that it's Spider-Man Rain.
Yeah, it just says 2.
Yeah.
It's Spider-Man and it's 2. Honestly, when I saw the first one, I thought it was for the game. Because he's fighting Venom in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, he's always fighting Venom. Except in the Venom movies. But yeah, so those are the teasers so far, but they haven't announced what it is. But I recognize the art and the themes. So I'm a little excited about that. That one's that's the reason it's Notorious Spider-Man comic is because they had to recycle like the first issue because they show Peter Parker's penis. And people got mad, so like they had to redo it, and you couldn't see it. So if you look at like Spider-Man Rain, Peter Parker penis, like see that.
I don't know if I should type that in right now.
That's a tongue twister.
Peter Parker penis.
Yeah. But yeah, so they had to like they recalled the first issue and then you couldn't find it. So then they had to do the reprint, and so not as many people bought it, but if you were one of the few like me, you got to see the full Peter Parker penis. But it's like Peter Parker at like 60 years old, 60, he's like 70 years.
It's old penis.
It's old penis, yeah. And he's just sitting there like with his belly like covering most of it. Yeah,
it's not like Batman when he's in his prime.
right.
Not Bat penis.
Where he's like,
I got
did he
that one.
put venom in that thing? But yeah,
I still
it-
got that one.
the one where he's Jewish. Texilla says, didn't that happen to Batman Damn 2? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
I sold like 2 copies of that, and I still have one of them
Nice.
for myself, for my own enjoyment.
That probably that probably went like that was the time to sell it because I don't think you could get that much for it now. I don't think.
I think the most I got for one of them was like $45.
Yeah.
I sold one for like 30, and the other one was probably around 40, 45, something like that.
Yeah, but that's kind of like what I'm excited for. But now it says 2024 for the Rain 2. I'm like, I don't want to wait till 2024. Like, I want it now. Although we are in almost halfway through August.
Oh wow! I just looked it up on eBay. There's one for 90.
Oh, nice.
They call it the Batwang variant.
Batwang. Batwang.
And then there's one that's signed. It's $300. Signed by Jim Lee and Alex Sinclair. Signed and slabbed.
Oh, okay. So they can't even prove that it's a Batwang cover because they have to.
You'd have to open it.
Yeah, it's no fun.
Actually, I don't think I seen it saying anything that it is. Yeah, it says in the description, this is the infamous Batman penis. There's got to be a way to know that for sure. Like, it's got to be
probably in the barcode or something.
The barcode, or the fact that if it's not a reprint.
Yeah,
I might get that.
What, the slab?
I don't know why they got Jim Lee's signature. It's a Bermejo book. Ooh,
yeah, it's Jim Lee Bermejo.
Sinclair's not in it. It's Azzarello that wrote it.
Yeah,
Bermejo drew it. Why? I guess whatever.
And what's the score it had?
The cover is a Jim Lee variant.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. What were you asking?
What's the rating for the grading?
9.8.
Oh man, that's good. Even with a signature, like I thought that would bring it down.
No.
Yeah. I'm thinking of having one couple of my comics graded, but I don't know.
If you just want the Jim Lee signature, and you can get that for $250. Also a 9.8.
Heck says, "Hey, where's that news about Jim Lee and DC? Did you guys talk about that?" Like, I don't know what he's talking.
He got arrested again? I
don't
mean,
know.
we don't talk about that.
Yeah. Heck, tell us what it is.
Is it because his name is Jim Lee and the artist is Lee Bermejo?
Yeah.
I don't like what happens when I type in Jim Lee to the news.
Why?
In memoriam?
Oh shit.
Oh no, that's no. Jim Lee on returning to the Comic-Con floor. No.
Oh, he got promoted. Yeah.
Promoted.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Oh, president of DC Comics.
Yeah.
That's actually a demotion. Wasn't he in charge of all of DC?
Yeah.
Like, now it's just the comics division.
So is that it?
I think that's it, unless you guys got anything else.
That was actually more than I thought we had to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. A nice tight 134. You get to still watch Seinfeld reruns before bed.
Yeah, look, if Lawrence had shown up, we'd get another half hour in.
Hey, give us some final thoughts.
So I guess Firebuds and Playdate with Winnie the Pooh are going on hiatus for the fall. That doesn't affect me at all.
Oz, final thoughts.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds had a musical episode. I hate musicals. I think I'm okay with that episode. I don't know yet. Should go check it out.
And as for me, hey, we got a couple new subscribers, so thanks guys for subscribing and enjoy the stuff we got. We got more stuff coming down the line. Larry will be here next week. I forgot what we're talking about next week. I can promote it now, but either way, stay tuned to our social media. You'll find out there. And yeah, so next time, we're out.